Boomatheyam, a village lost in time, huts crafted from the bones and hides of dinosaurs huddled together. Dasa and Maya gazed upon their newborn twins. The flickering flames of their hearth cast dancing shadows on the hut walls. This night, however, a chill deeper than usual settled over Boomatheyam. Dasa, his hand instinctively tightening around his spear, scanned the impenetrable jungle beyond their doorway. A low guttural growl vibrated through the village. Fear pierced the fragile peace of their little hut. Dasa met Maya's terrified gaze. Their unspoken question hung heavy in the air. Would this be the night the monster finally found them? The rumble, closer now, morphed into a distant roar. Each echoing growl sent tremors through the very foundations of their world. The dinosaurs were a constant threat, but this was different. This was the sound of the legendary T-Rex. Dasa, his instincts screaming at him to run, knew he couldn't. He was their protector, their shield against the storm. Dasa, his brow creased with worry, paced the length of their small hut. He was a hunter, his family's legacy woven into the very fabric of his being. Yet the thought of leaving Maya and their vulnerable newborns sent shards of ice through his veins. The annual hunt, a ritual as old as Boomatheyam itself, now felt like a death sentence. The jungle, once his domain, now echoed with the threat of the T-Rex. I should go, he muttered. Dahan, it's my duty. Maya, her heart clenching at the agony in his voice, reached out a hand to still his restless pacing. No, she whispered, her voice firm despite the tremor in her soul. Not now, Dasa, not with that beast out there. They need you here, with us. She gestured towards their sleeping babes. Dasa, his gaze drawn to the innocent slumber of his children, felt a surge of fierce protectiveness rise within him. He would not abandon them. He would not let the loss of their ancestors condemn his family to this monstrous fate. He would find another way. The rumble, closer now, seemed to mock his resolve. I won't go, he vowed. I will stay and protect you. We will face this together. But even as he spoke, a new sound pierced the night, a sound that sent a jolt of pure terror through their veins. It wasn't the distant rumble of the T-Rex's approach. This was closer, more immediate. A monstrous shadow, darker than the night itself, fell across their doorway. The air grew thick with the stench of rotting flesh and damp earth. Dasa, his spear held high, pushed Maya and the babies behind him. The night shattered, the T-Rex erupted into Boomatheyam with the force of a hurricane. Huts crumbled like dry leaves before the onslaught. The air, thick with the stench of blood and fear, crackled with the energy of a nightmare brought to life. On the outskirts of the village, a lone figure stood guard. Bathed in the eerie glow of a flickering torch, the male humanosaur patrolled the perimeter. He clutched his spear, a meager twig against the might of the predator he knew stalked them. Then through the swirling mist he saw it. The T-Rex, its massive head lowered, charged. The ground trembled beneath its weight, its roar a deafening blast. The humanosaur, realizing his fatal error, cried out. He raised his spear, a futile gesture of defiance. The T-Rex clamped down on the hapless guard, tossing him like a rag doll. Deep within the village, Dole, his slumber disturbed by the distant roar, stirred. Without hesitation, Dole surged to his feet, his massive form a blur of muscle and fury. Dasa, his heart pounding in his chest, heard Dole's roar. Dole, his eyes fixed on the monstrous form of the T-Rex, charged into the fray. He slammed into the predator with the force of a battering ram. The T-Rex, caught off guard, staggered back. The two titans, locked in a battle for survival, became a whirlwind of teeth and claws. Dasa, spear held high, watched in awe and terror as the battle raged around him. Dole fought with the fury of a creature possessed. The T-Rex, enraged, reared back and lunged again. With a Herculean effort, Dole heaved his massive head, flinging the T-Rex away. The predator, disoriented but undeterred, crashed through the remains of a nearby hut. Dole, his breath coming in ragged gasps, stood guard over the fallen humanosaur. The T-Rex struggled to its feet, its chest heaving. Then with a final chilling roar, the T-Rex melted back into the fog. Dole, his strength finally failing him, collapsed beside the fallen guard. Dawn broke over Boomatheyam, painting the sky in hues of blood orange and ash gray. The once vibrant village, now a wasteland of shattered bone and scattered hide, lay shrouded in an eerie silence. The air, thick with the stench of blood and fear, hung heavy over the survivors. They emerged from their hiding places, their faces drawn and pale. Dasa, his hands still sticky with Dole's blood, knelt beside his fallen friend. Dole, his breathing shallow, was alive. Maya, her face a mask of exhaustion and terror, cradled their sleeping babes close. She felt a surge of gratitude for their survival. As the sun climbed higher, the villagers gathered in the center of what was once their communal space. The leader, his face etched with grief and anger, stood on a makeshift platform. "We are fortunate to be alive," he began, "but we have paid a heavy price for our survival. The T-Rex has never attacked our village with such ferocity. It is clear that something has changed. There are those among us who believe that Dole is to blame." Dasa, his jaw clenched, felt a surge of anger rise within him. "Silence," roared the leader, his voice cracking with emotion. "We are Boomatheyam. We do not turn on our own." He pointed his spear at Dasa, his expression unreadable. "Dasa," he commanded, his voice heavy with the weight of tradition, "you are bonded to this creature. You are responsible for its actions. You will take it into the forest and leave it there. You will sever your bond and return to us. This is my decree." Dasa, his heart pounding in his chest, rose to his feet. He met the leader's gaze, his own eyes unwavering. He would not abandon Dole. "Not now, not ever. No," he said, his voice clear and strong, echoing in the sudden silence. The word, simple yet defiant, hung in the air, a challenge to the leader's authority, to the very fabric of their traditions. The villagers gasped, their whispers like the rustling of dry leaves in a rising wind. They had never witnessed such open defiance, such a blatant disregard for the laws that had governed their people for generations. Maya, clutching their babies close, felt a shiver of fear run down her spine. Dasa was risking everything, their place in the village, their safety, their lives. But she understood, she too could not bear the thought of abandoning Dole in his time of need. Rasa, his face pale but determined, stepped forward. He stood beside Dasa, his hand resting on his son's shoulder in a gesture of solidarity. "My son speaks true," he said, his voice firm despite the tremor in his chest. "We will not abandon those who have stood by us. We will not be ruled by fear."